It seems like every time we check the CS2 Twitter, expectations are pretty much through the roof, but we've gotten absolutely nothing. A lot of people are convinced that Valve just doesn't care about the game or they don't care about the community, but I don't think that's true. I think they do care about the game, and I think a big part of that is because it's such a cash cow for them. But hey guys, it's Turbo, and this is the current state of CS2. All right, let's jump into it. So today we got a brand new update, and it literally just focuses on map scripting. That's it. Nothing else. I really hope that this is them laying down the foundation so they can release like the biggest and best operation of all time. Or even short of an operation, just a really massive content update with new modes, like new stuff, everything. The works. When CS2 first came out, the whole idea behind it was it's a brand new game on a new engine, built from the ground up to not run on spaghetti code, where it'll be easier for them to make bigger content updates more frequently. But so far, it's been 3 years and we've basically gotten nothing. We've gotten a couple small updates here and there, but we haven't really gotten anything that matched any of the major CSGO updates. And I get they're still working on it. They're still trying to make the game as good as CSGO, and they're trying to fix subticks so it can actually be playable, but how much time do they really need? It's been 3 years, dude. But you know what doesn't take 3 years? The segue to our sponsor. Got a Steam inventory full of trash tier skins you never use? This video is sponsored by Skins Monkey, the fastest and easiest way to turn your junk into some fresh new play skins. Connect your Steam account, select the skins you want to trade. You can also use code TURBO to claim up to a $5 bonus. They have a massive selection of skins and plenty of options to deposit. Code TURBO gets you an extra 5%. There's also freebies where you can enter giveaways and 24/7 live support if you run into any issues. Check out my Skins Monkey link down below to support the channel. On August 19th, we got another update, and you know what this was? An absolute nothing burger. A week earlier on August 12th, another update that really doesn't mean anything to 99% of players. The last update that actually changed anything was, well, the Cologne 2026 ranked series. After the massive disaster that was the Cologne major stickers, they released these more square stickers with a bigger border, also with fixed pricing to hopefully maybe rack in some extra money for all the teams. But this new dynamic pricing system for stickers just doesn't work. And I get that they're dealing with a lot of lawsuits, they're dealing with a lot of like legal problem worldwide, but sticker capsules were really cheap, they were really affordable, and people were able to buy them in large amounts. And that whole like random aspect gave more incentive to buy them. So that meant more money for Valve, more money for all the teams that rely on the major sticker money. And since they got rid of it, a lot of the teams have been struggling, and this is really bad for the future of Counter-Strike esports. It's also really bad for sticker investors too, because like the entire future of sticker investing is up in the air. Nobody knows what's going to happen next major. Are they going to try to go back to sticker capsules? Are they going to just keep doing this dynamic pricing? Or going forward, are they just going to have fixed pricing and just never change it? But then that'll basically ruin investing, because like when you break it down, CS skins are a zero-sum game. You know, some people get really lucky and unbox the best stickers or the best skins, but most people end up unboxing blues. And that's what kind of adds to the rarity. That's what adds to the hype. The rarer, more sought after skins, generally they have a pretty good chance to go up in price over time. But when you just have everything available for sale, people can just buy up literally everything. There might be a couple stickers that nobody thought of that potentially have a chance to go up in the future, but like the whole random aspect of the sticker capsules was what made them so good in the first place. So getting rid of that, in my opinion, it was a massive fumble. On April 21st, they prepared another dish, which was kind of the last like decent quality of life update where they adjusted the camera motion to match CSGO more closely. And this was definitely a pretty solid update. They also adjusted like view model animations, and they did a bunch of things to make sub-tick work. Now, it's still not as good as 128 tick, but it's clear that they're definitely trying to make it work, and they're doing everything in their power to, I mean, without the 128 tick infrastructure, I don't know how far they're really going to go with it. Sure, it'll get better, but only to a point. This was also the exact same day that they announced that the Train, Sport and Field, Sugarface 2, and Elemental Craft stickers were leaving the armory. And 75 days later, they finally removed them and they finally added the Spytek and Arabesque collections. The big problem with that was we had 75 days to just stockpile everything. And also, I mean, the Sport and Field collection was in the armory from the very beginning, and it was just farmed to an insane degree. So because of that, pretty much all the new skins became just awful investments where, I mean, there's just no incentive to buy them. There's no incentive to get the armory passes, and there's no incentive to get the actual skins in the armory. That's why they need to rotate all the skins from the armory way more. On top of that too, they also need to not give us a heads up. Back in the day, the big reason why like certain things worked was because there was no heads up they were going to be removed. If you bought them, you bought them. If not, then whatever. But right now we're kind of like in the end game of like skin capitalism. And if we take a look at CS ROI, and if we take a look at all the new skins, the Spytek and Arabesque collection, we're looking at a 56% ROI on the Spytek collection and a 50% on the Arabesque collection. Historically speaking, most of the armory collections were above 100%, so they were fairly profitable. And then there's the auto racing and the fruits and veggie stickers, even lower at 40% and 48% respectively. Even the 2025 community stickers are at 73%, so almost double the amount of profit. By the way, for any profit to be possible, it has to be above 115%. Lower is a lot worse. And if we look at the ROI over time for most of the armory's history, although, you know, with a couple spikes, there's been so many points where it was really profitable and then it stopped being profitable, but then it slowly went back up. On October 12th, we hit almost 180% ROI. And then after the covert trade up update, it kind of dropped off. It had another little spike. And since then, it's just been all downhill. Like literally last December, it was 150% unboxing ROI. So the armory was genuinely worth redeeming. There was a really good chance if you had enough armory stars, you were guaranteed upwards of like 35-40% profit. And if we look at all the other graphs, they kind of follow the exact same pattern. Now, a big reason why the market was at such a crazy point and why it's fallen off was mainly caused by large groups with lots of money of market manipulators, people trying to push the prices up so they could make a lot of money at everyone else's expense. Some of the bigger market manipulators have been leaving the scene, so that's kind of the big reason why a lot of stuff has fallen off. Obviously, in the short term, it sucks, but I think long term, it's going to lead to a much healthier skin market. Another thing that really added to this problem was definitely the hundreds of thousands of bot farms. Another thing to keep in mind, if we look at the Steam charts, we have had a 6-month decrease in players. Obviously, you know, there's a million things to factor in, so I don't necessarily think all these people leaving are like actual players of the game. Like, sure, some people are leaving, but I think a vast majority of this is the bot farm scaling down the operations because it's just not as profitable anymore. No, don't get me wrong, the cheating problem is really bad right now. So I'm sure some of this number has to do with just people being sick of playing against cheaters. With Overwatch, hopefully Valve will be able to figure it out over the next few months. One more thing to keep in mind, Valve has also been making a lot of very questionable decisions lately, and quite frankly, a lot of people have just lost trust in Valve. Now, if they improve the anti-cheat and they add a new operation and they add a ton of new content and also bring back 128 tick, I think that trust can be restored. But right now, CS2 is in a very precarious spot. Nobody knows what the future really holds, so a lot of people are kind of scared, especially people with skins, because they quite literally have skin in the game. July 8th, nearly 2 months ago, was the last time that we got any kind of update that changed the game in any meaningful way. But all we got was the armory refresh. Of course, we got cash, and then we got the new bomb mechanics. But considering we waited for literally months for this update, and you know, we thought that Valve was working really hard behind the scenes, they kind of just did the bare minimum. And that's been a very common trend since the release of CS2. I'm not exactly a game developer or anything, but I have some experience with like making maps. Not even remotely the same thing, but in a general sense, if you fix something, you usually break 3 other things and you have to like realign everything to like make it all work together. They released CS2 to get rid of the spaghetti code, but I feel like CS2 is kind of turned into spaghetti code, where when they try to fix one thing, they break a million other things and they have to fix them before they can do a stable release. So that might be one reason, or maybe they really have been working on something massive behind the scenes this entire time, and they've just been laying the groundwork, and it'll only be a matter of time before CS2 reaches new heights. Or we can just keep coping, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hype the video for a mobile, and consider becoming a member. Let me know what you guys think down below. Stay safe, boys. It's Turbo, and I'm out. Peace.